Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 125. You can't force growth. You have to allow it. Just like you can't force a flower to bloom before it's ready, you can't push your healing into overdrive to rush the process. The same is true in daily life. Whenever we try to force things, we create resistance, problems arise, and that leads to frustration. It goes back to our need to and our desire to control outcomes instead of going with the flow. I did an episode all about going with the flow. That's episode 121. I'll try to link it in the description for you. But there's an urge we have within us to force things and make things happen. And when it comes to healing, we want it to hurry up and be done with already because of all the pain that we experience. In the healing journey, you have to go through the fire of the pain. In life, there's examples of pushing too hard for relationships to work, demanding opportunities before the time is right, and just trying to control outcomes. You may find as you look back that doesn't always work out to your advantage. In fact, most times that doesn't work out when we try to force things. When we try to force, what happens is we burn out mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We push people away or we close the doors that were meant to be opened for us. We miss the natural timing of things, like pulling a sprout out of the ground too soon before it's ready to emerge and then killing its growth. And like I said, this creates frustration and it actually slows our healing process when it comes to the healing journey. Trying to push things along and make it go faster can actually slow the process because we're not taking the time to work through issues and emotions as they arise. Here's some everyday examples of forcing versus allowing. So in a job search, forcing would be frantically sending resumes out and panicking when you get no response. Allowing for a job search would be preparing and applying for jobs and then trusting that the right door will open. In relationships, forcing looks like trying to make someone open up before they're ready, or over-explaining and seeking validation from others around us. And allowing in relationships involves giving others the space that they need and letting things to unfold naturally, trusting that genuine connections will develop in time if it's meant to be. With our finances, forcing looks like obsessing over every dollar and making decisions out of panic. And allowing, regarding our finances, involves being responsible but trusting the flow, making calm, intuitive choices, smart choices, but not sudden and in the moment without thinking it through. Okay, regarding our healing, so forcing would look like trying to get over the pain quickly, bypassing emotions, judging yourself for not being further on the path. And then allowing in our healing journey is when we let our emotions rise and fall naturally, creating space for rest, understanding that healing has its own rhythm and surrendering to that rhythm. In our spiritual practice, forcing can be something like trying to feel spiritual or overanalyzing signs and synchronicities around us. Allowing in the spiritual practice involves sitting in stillness without expectations, trusting whatever arises, and knowing that divine timing is perfect. Life in general, when we force it, we try to rush milestones, a new job, or in relationships, we find resistance and frustration. But in life, when we allow, we accept that everything unfolds at the right pace, and we find peace in the present moment. There's power in allowing, in the surrender and allowing. With healing, it means letting our emotions arise and pass instead of rushing through them or suppressing them. When we allow in this healing path, we align with the natural rhythms of the universe. So trust the timing of opportunities and let relationships unfold naturally. That's how we allow. It doesn't mean doing nothing, it means doing your part and then releasing control over the outcome. Intuition will guide you for knowing when to act and when to step aside, allowing divine timing to flow. So here's some practices that you can use to help you to step into more of the allowing. And here's the first one. So notice when you're trying to force an outcome and ask yourself, am I acting from fear or trust? Replace urgency with faith. Delay doesn't mean denial. What's meant for you won't pass you by. So it may not happen in what you consider would be the right time, but the universe knows exactly when is the right time to bring things into your world that's meant for you. Excuse me. Focus on your intentions, set goals, and then take action toward that, but with an element of surrender there. Be present in the now. Don't resist emotions. Acknowledge them without judgment. And probably the number one bit of advice I have for you when it comes to emotions is allow them to flow, but don't attach. In other words, let's say an emotion of anger comes up for some reason for you this morning. It's morning here. So I said morning. Acknowledge the anger and take a look at what it is you're feeling angry about. Give it the respect it's asking for, but then don't attach to it. In other words, don't let the anger follow you around for the rest of the day. So here's some affirmations for you to write down and keep in your journals to help you kind of work through this whole, the difference between forcing and allowing. So the first affirmation says, I release the need to rush or control my growth. The second affirmation says, I allow my emotions to rise, flow, and release. The third one says, I honor the changes taking place within me. And the fourth one, peace finds me when I stop chasing it. So allowing does take discipline. Practicing surrender, trust, and patience with yourself and the process. Forcing anything can stall out the progress and forward movement. So release control. Practice a lot of self-care. Get plenty of alone time each day for reflection, for meditation, and create a safe inner space within yourself. Allow that space to bring forth forgiveness and releasing and ultimate healing. It's our episode for today. Don't force. Allow your healing to take place. I hope you've been doing well. I'll be back again soon. I'm trying to keep to this every 4 or 5 days if I can. So I will be back very soon. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves. I wish you peace, love, and light. And I'll see you again soon. That's it for now. Bye.